majority of people, their brains are legit programmed by their day-to-day lives, everything they see and hear.
Yeah, well, dopamine is like the repetition chemical, right? Like TikTok, dopamine repetition.
This feels good. Let me do it again.
Yeah, I know. It's just like if you find a big, like sugary, like blueberry bush in the wild, you're gonna keep eating blueberries, eat the berries until you're full and there's no more dopamine. It's like, okay, let's not repeat this action anymore.
Yeah.
But with TikTok, there's no such thing as not feeling the dopamine anymore because they have the illusion of novelty. TikTok equals novelty. Novelty. It's like, what's gonna happen? I've never seen this before. What's that? It's new. So it's like, bro, if a fucking giant tiger, lions, bears walked through here, we both look at them in fear and be like, oh shit, look at it. Oh my god, look, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Looking at something being like, what's gonna happen is literally the fear response. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if a giant bear came in here, we'd be like the fear response. So anytime you see people watching the Super Bowl, oh my god, Patrick Mahomes, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna throw the ball? It's like, bro, why would you want to increase your fear response? Like, why would you want to increase your fear response? So, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Because your brain basically just makes choices between like A or B, right? You can drink that or you can drink this. Depends on how you feel, right? It's like you could be sitting in the pool or you could be sitting there. But it's like in front of your environment. Why do you think there's like a giant pile of candy at the 7-Eleven register? Then we got candy bars.
I'm already buying stuff, and I know I like this. Let me just. I mean, it might as well just.
I know, it's like, have you ever been to a store and checked out at the grocery store without having a giant pile of candy right in front of your eyeballs?
Legit at the.
Like, not once. I don't
check
remember
out
a single time.
Every single store. That's where all there's a bunch of chips, candy,
Yep.
donuts, baked
Brain
goods.
just chooses best path.
Also, drinks full of sugar.
Yeah, full of sugar. Sugar bad. Sugar haram. Sugar gay. Actually, can we see this? That's better. But yeah, your brain just makes choices on the best path forward. It's like, it's the same reason why like a little toddler baby will like point at something and cry and whine, because it takes less energy than actually walking across to go get it. It's like, let's say you've got some grass, nice little patch of grass here, you got a sheep. Bad. That's a sheep eating the grass. The optimum foraging strategy in animals and humans means you're going to expend the least amount of effort, low effort for the most amount of reward, right? Most reward. It's the same reason why it's like, bro, I went to college like a half hour from where I grew up, right? It's like I applied to 3 colleges, Penn State, Endicott, and then UMass. And I got in, and then I was like, you know what, let's just go a half hour away from home and just do what's easy, just because like, a flock of sheep isn't gonna go walk go on a 10-mile hike to go eat the best grass. It's like, no, they're gonna eat the grass. Grass is gone, okay, let me find the closest grass and then eat this grass. Oh, it's gone, okay, and then we're gonna go and eat this grass. And it's just like, bro, it's so funny when my dad talks about like being a software engineer and going to college, I'm just like, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I would have chosen that path if I was him in his shoes with his brain doing that. It's like, obviously I would have chosen that path. You know, and I'm down here in Florida and it's just like, good at speaking, I have no fear, no such thing as rejection, I'm schizo as fuck. Might as well do commission-only sales, right? It's kind of obvious at this point. So the secret is, how do you get your dopamine receptors to not be attracted to all of this TikTok novelty, gay, homosexuality, demon possession? And attract, what's the word? I guess a mission, a heroic mission, a path to follow. So the reason I always say like get more shredded in my videos is because like your body always wants to return to homeostasis. Like the sheep, they're eating grass. For a sheep to be happy, it has to be in a state of constant consumption. And I'm not like just like messing around here. I'm not trying to be funny, but it's just like if a sheep is not constantly eating grass, it like feels weird and bad, so it has to go back to eating the grass. That's the same thing with like fat, obese people that eat food all day, or like fucking skibbity TikTok kids who are scrolling on TikTok every second of every day. The second you stop performing that action, your body is like, oh, let's return back to normal. Do anything to return back to normal. This is the normal. This is homeostasis. So it's like me. It's like I drink 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 coffees every day, and I do a bunch of push-ups, and I go and knock on doors, and I go and make fucking sales. Like that's my homeostasis. I do that pretty much every day now. So if I were to stop drinking coffee, stop doing push-ups, and lay around all day and not knock on doors, my body would be like, gotta return to homeostasis. Gotta return to what's normal. It's just like, that's why I say get more shredded. Because if you're a fucking 6'5" Greek god shredded statue of a man, you're gonna genuinely feel like going to the gym every day because it fucking feels good.
To mog people. Right?
You're genuinely gonna feel like it. It's like, bro, if I was 500 pounds obese lard, I had so many flabs like a fucking elephant, bro, I'd want to eat food all day. It's just what I'd want to do.
Yeah, you're used to it.
You can't, bro. Not a single human on this earth wakes up and doesn't just trust their instincts and react to their environment. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Tate, they wake up, look at their phone, respond to notifications, sit on the computer, work on what they're working on yesterday, just react to their environment, following whatever. Every single human on this planet just trusts their instincts. Whether you realize it or not, you're going to avoid pain and chase dopamine. But avoiding pain is a much stronger force. So let's just say, yeah, avoiding pain is a lot stronger. So if you're a fat, obese lard, let's say you weigh 500 pounds. The only way that I could see 500-pound man, fat man. The only thing I could see is to not just fast every day, but like change your homeostasis to where you're not like obsessively eating all day. Maybe you like wait 4 or 5 hours and then you fucking eat or do some shit like that. But if you're 500 pounds, your life's pretty much over. I would throw in the towel, bro. 500 pounds? I'd just throw in the towel at that point.
It'll take you like 5 years to lose it.
Yeah, bro.
Unless you just fast every day for 6 months. Can you do that? You have so much fat on you, you can just kind of run.
One guy lost 186 pounds by doing that.
That's insane.
In like the span of 6 months or a year, not eating a single morsel of food. He just like drank a little bit of juice here and there for minerals and stuff and water and shit.
That's nuts.
It is crazy.
Dude.
But the thing is, like, your body only notices the change anyways, right?
Yeah.
Like if I wake up, get shredded, and then I look in the mirror the next day and I'm more shredded, it's like great, more shredded. But it's like, even if you're a 500-pound fat man, you can always get more shredded.
You get dopamine from getting more shredded.
Exactly.
When you see the
It's
results.
like, what do you think my dopamine receptors are?
Which goes back to that. And if you have the TikTok that's overrun your brain, you don't get as much dopamine from the changes you make in your own life because they require more effort, so they don't feel as good.
Increase. So, I mean, even if you're 500 pounds, let's say I'm 500 pounds, it's a biological fact that I'm going to feel better because all your experiences are relative. If you live life just rewarding yourself every second of every day, just scrolling on TikTok, consumption, it's not going to hit your brain as strong as opposed to if you were like working for 3 days straight, not eating like me. I went on a 72-hour fast, knocking on doors, and then I made seven appointments. And then I finally ate, and it's just like, it's the same reason why like the world champions like Steph Curry, Patrick Mahomes, winning the world championship feels a lot better than just winning in practice because it takes so much longer, so much more effort. It's just such a more difficult path to get there. And the greater the challenge, the greater the glory, literally. So even if you're a 500-pound fat man, it's a biological fact, scientific fact of the universe. If you push your breakfast, instead of like 30 seconds after you wake up, stuffing food in your face, you push it back to like 30 minutes after you wake up. Instead of 30 seconds, it's like, you're going to feel better. So the work, it's better than reward. Because think about it from like a biological perspective. If we were all like apes, gorillas walking around outside, we would be like chasing dopamine and avoiding pain. We see a big scary snake or a scary monster, run away, right? We see a bunch of little sugary berries that taste good, okay, keep eating the berries, right? Exactly, bro. And it's just like, in modern society, every single person is an animal and they don't really realize it. You're going to avoid pain and chase dopamine whether you realize it or not. So I mean, most people, they don't want to feel the pain of like sitting in their own thoughts. Like when you walk into a store, you see someone like in Starbucks, they immediately pull their phone out after 2 seconds, start scrolling and turn their brain off. That's you? Fuck. Homosexuality. But basically, what I was saying about shower thoughts, that's the only time when your brain can literally just shut off and you can actually spend time in your own thoughts without being interrupted. Most people never reach that state except for the shower, you know what I mean? It's just hard to reach. So, the grand equation, unless you are a 6'5" Greek god shredded. That's the goal. If you're not a 6'5" Greek god shredded perfection, giant castle and vineyards, pile of gold, like a dragon. Like if you don't have a giant castle with a pile of gold and a shredded fucking warrior like a dragon, why would you reward yourself now and take your foot off the gas? Because consumption makes you slower. It's like I fast all day and I drink coffee and I knock on doors and I run around and make sales. And then once I start eating at the end of the night, my brain literally turns off and I'm like ready for bed. After that, bro, I was like falling asleep, but I didn't even finish this. I barely finished the steak. I was like falling asleep. So it's just like, it's a very simple equation. If you don't have what you want, maybe, just maybe, you stop rewarding yourself and taking your foot off the gas, taking things slow until you achieve what you want. I know it's easier said than done. Even this, me right now, sitting out here drinking coffee, that releases dopamine. I'm just talking releases dopamine. Right on this fucking whiteboard, messing around, all this releases dopamine. But I'm doing this, creating, speaking, instead of just scrolling on TikTok or consuming some video or consuming food or some social media. Because consuming makes you slower. And that's good. Because you can't have it both ways. Like if I lived a life where every single thing in my life moved me faster and I was just like not really eating and I was just like obsessive over the end goal, you kind of can't really have it both ways. Although that is kind of gay.
I think Plato touched on this.
I think Plato did touch on this. I think there was a great philosopher who once said, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
I think I've heard this.
Yeah, I think he was like an Ashkenazi Israel philosopher, something like that.
Yeah. Seems.
What? Yeah, I mean, I got down here in Florida because like the pain of living up north in Boston, wasting all of my time, was worse, way worse than the potential dopamine or like the potential pain of living down here on my own, or like having fucking responsibilities and commission only sales and like fucking actually a responsibility to go and fucking work.
That's what I'm doing.
It's like up there, it was comfortable. Bro, it was comfortable. I was living at my parents' house. I was eating good. I was just like spending all my money on steak, not saving money, just like smoking weed and shit. And it was just like, sure, I was distracted. Sure, I was happy all the time. I enjoyed my life. I ate food, smoked weed all day. But I definitely was not fulfilled. You know? You can eat candy and sugar and all this poison all day, and that's gonna make your belly full, but you won't be fulfilled. It's not the same thing. You wait till the end of the night and eat steak and eggs, fucking apples and honey and chocolate and bread and cheese, all this good stuff.
A bunch of natural God-given food.
Natural God-given food, bro. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to you, kind of. You know, you have to make choices. I mean, everybody makes different choices, but it's also like, imagine if everybody had our mindset and they like believed they could achieve. Like me and you believe we're gonna be rich someday. That's why we're down here doing commission-only sales, doing Etsy, doing that shit. Nice.
Just inspired me to hit a PR.
Nice. Good shit, bro.
Yeah, dude, genuinely, it's kind of sad, a lot of people's mentality.
Because I mean, especially when people are going to college, like one of my buddies, I'll classify him as, he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, I'd say. He's not a really bright guy. Like sharpness wise, he's more of a spoon, right? So he goes to college and he's studying hard and he's like, and the last thing he said to me when I spoke to him was like, well, yeah, after this college, it's pretty much guaranteed that we'll always find a job. And I'm like,
No, it isn't.
It'll be guaranteed that you find safety and security. That's what you're looking after. And it's just like, I wish more people would understand that there's more to life than just like safety and security and just sitting in your own house with a 2-car garage and a boy and a girl and a fucking dog and a yearly vacation to the Bahamas. And it's just like, such a style, you know? I wish there were more people like us who are willing to like just like give up everything to chase fucking greatness, you know?
Well, a lot of people don't grasp the potential they have.
Well, also a lot
like,
of people,
their brain power. Like,
yeah, I know. It's like the lack of belief is one, and the second one is people's lives don't get bad enough. If you're just like kind of half living life, just kind of stuck in between purgatory, and it doesn't get bad enough, you're never gonna change. Like me and you, it's like no one's gonna move across the country and uproot their entire life if their life is already going perfect.
Yeah, everyone thinks I'm crazy, legit.
For doing this?
Yeah,
Good,
dude.
bro. Good. All my friends are like, Liam, I can't believe you actually went down to Florida. You've been saying it for so long. Like I told all my friends for a whole year. If I spend one more winter in New England, verbally abuse me. Literally verbally abuse me, and then it worked, and then I moved down to Florida. That's just what happens, bro. So I mean, that's why there's like, if you go in Massachusetts, there's a fucking, you can't drive 2 minutes on the highway without seeing a big advertisement for a fucking weed dispensary, and like all the advertising is like,
God.
no, listen,
Same with Bozeman.
2 minutes down the highway you can't walk, right? And then it's like, take the edge off, or like, take it slow, or shit like that. It's just like, bro,
What the fuck?
it's crazy, and it's just like
Saya.
having Instagram and TikTok and fucking Netflix and all these fucking distractions to possess your mind with the demons that they've encoded into the TV. Just like most people don't actually hit rock bottom hard enough to when they have to change, you know what I mean? It's like my little brother, it's like he was a big fat kid in high school and now he's like playing volleyball and he has a girlfriend and he's just like chilling. He doesn't have like the hardest life in the world, but me, it's like, bro, I was literally addicted to fentanyl in high school. So there was no like just enjoying myself. There was no just taking the edge off. There was no just like, I couldn't just be average and like fit in with people because I literally didn't feel like it. So it's like when you get that deep down into something painful, it's like you genuinely have to change in order to survive, right?
Yeah.
The only thing is like, I think everything in modern society tries to make you like as comfortable as possible so you don't want to change. Like all the sugary foods, like you know the word hyper palatable?
No.
So it means something that has like an extreme dopamine hit as soon as you like eat it. So like a little super concentrated nicotine flavor in a vape compared to like a big fat cigar.
Yeah.
It's like the cigar is better for you, probably has more total, but the vape is like so potent and extreme and like, you know, it's like
It's potent and it's easier.
It's a chemical.
You can do it anywhere.
it's a designed chemical to hit you as fast as possible,
As hard
and then
as
the
possible.
baseline is gonna make you as low as possible after. And it's like eating Doritos, like MSG, all these fucking chemicals, and it's just like people are genuinely addicted to all these things and they don't realize it. Unless you get a schizo as me and you're like, even seeing one woman on the TV, even if it's like a newscaster telling the news, telling the weather, I see a woman on the TV, it's like, it's AI trying to harvest my energy. I can't look at the woman, I can't look. If I spend one more second looking at the woman on the TV, demons are gonna possess my mind, and the Jews, they're gonna get me. They've won. So it's like, when you do shit like that, like your whole life just becomes work. It's like, am I gonna choose between, or listen, when you frame it like this, it's not just like, oh, should I reward myself, or should I go do some work, or should I do this? It's just like, no. Am I going to follow ones or zeros? Am I gonna follow the path to God level kingdom saving the entire world? It's like, you have to make it extreme. It's like, am I gonna be an obese, cuck, drug addicted Walmart worker slave for the rest of my life on the streets ingesting heroin? Or am I going to be the king of earth, skyscraper, penthouses, vineyards, savior of earth, fucking president of the nation? It's like ones or zeros, bro. You have to make it more extreme. And it's like, once you do that, it's just like, it becomes a lot clearer. So when I have 1 second spare and I'm pulling out my phone, I'm just scrolling and it's like, fuck. Am I gonna let a demon possess my mind and make my mind more empty and shut off my brain to just be programmed by this shit? Why would I do that? When I could ascend to God-given greatness. You know? The juice is worth the squeeze, bro. The greater the challenge, the greater the glory. Just gotta work for it. Get more shredded.